Hello, good morning. Good morning, Sir Art. Okay, so once again, good morning dear followers. Good morning po sa ating mga followers sa Digifiltication. Ay nandito na naman po kami ngayon ay para maghandog ng mga bagong kaalaman. Okay?
Good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Hello sir, good morning sir.
Yan, good morning po sa lahat ng mga Digipil dyan. Magandang umaga po sa lahat. Tayo po ngayon ay meron na mga pagsasaluhan na napaka-special na topic this morning. So this time hindi po tayo nakapokus sa application software galing kay Microsoft, galing kay Google. So this is all about our health. Sir Buen?
Okay. Okay, so as part po ng ating routine. Okay, so again, acknowledge po natin ang ating webinar for a cause. Okay, so webinar for a cause po ng Digifiltic Nation ay pinangunahan ng ating mga administrators. Yung lingkod po at sina Sir Art De Leon and Sir Norman B. Leynes. So ito pong webinar for a cause ay inihandog namin po sa maliit naming tulong para sa mga paaralan. Okay, so kakaunti lang po ito. Ito po ay 50 reams ng A4 size bond papers sa Zapatero National High School. At ito po ang school head na tumanggap ng kaunting tulong po ng Digifiltic Nation. And Sir Art, go ahead.
Yan, yes sir. Opo. So, katulad po ng Zapatero National High School mula po sa ating webinar for a cause, tumanggap din po ang aming school, yan National High School ng tulong mula sa ating Digifiltic Nation. So, ang aming school ay nabahaginan din po ng mga bond paper para po sa printable materials po namin, as printable materials po namin dito sa aming school. So, sa mga darating pong tulong para po sa ating webinar for a cause, ang Digifiltic Nation po ay maghahandog ng tulong sa iba naman po mga schools. Hindi lang po dito sa amin, sa Batangas, hindi lang po sa Cebu. So kumbaga ay i-share po namin na naman ihahandog po sa amin na bahagi ng webinar for a cause. Maraming salamat po.
Okay, thank you sir. And ito po ay bahagi rin po ng aming mga efforts po na ginagawa na kung saan pinapatuloy namin ang pag-improve ng aming mga services po. Tulad halimbawa ng pagkikipag-tie up ng ibang mga institutions like Institute of Global Professionals. Okay, so may nabuo pong partnership with them.
Meron po tayong partnership with the Institute of Global Professionals.
Okay, congratulations po muna.
Yan.
Okay, so kay Sir Arturo De Leon, kay Sir Norman B. Leynes sa pagkakaroon ng kaniralan, Lian National High School sa pagiging weeklit school po. Ayun po ay ginagawa upang ano rin ang ating mga mag-aaral, makapag-cope up ng mga makabagong mga edtech tools na pwede nilang magamit.
Yes, Sir Ben. Opo. So ito naman po ay para sa ating mga students dito sa amin sa Batangas. Lagi naman po tayong after sa kung maganda sa mga students po natin. So thank you very much to Wakelet accommodating us as part of the Wakelet series and for being one of the community leaders with the circle mind. So may si Sir Norman. So talaga napaka-challenging po ng problem with the internet connection. Sir Buen, ready na ba tayo for this morning event natin?
Yes sir. Bago po muna sir, continue po natin yung mga accomplishment po ng admin ng Digital Technician. So ito rin po ay nakuha po ng lahat ng admin sa Digital Technician ang level 2 po ng Adobe Creative Educator. Okay. So, introduction na tayo siguro sir ng guest speaker since narito ang ating mga butihing mga imbitadong mga panauhin.
Yes sir, go ahead. Talaga lang merong mga challenges with the internet.
Experience din po sa area natin sir. Okay, so ating mga guest speakers ay ang kanilang topic po ay the cost of caring, managing compassion, fatigue. Okay? So ito pwede masyadong familiar ng mga ordinaryong tao po. So mga licensed psychologist or clinical psychologist lang po ang may mas malalim na patungkol po rito. Pero since nandito po ang ating mga invited speakers po ngayon, so ito po ang ating mga guest speakers. So una po ay si Ma'am Catherine Faith C. Bacos. Okay. Okay. Si Ma'am Chirilyn Pugosa. Okay. At saka si Sir Segundo Abria Jr. and Anjanette Rosales. So ang ating mga speakers po ay malalim na po ang kanilang mga experience with regards to clinical psychology po. So I do believe all of them are mga nag-aaral ngayon ng masters or iba ay graduate na po ng kanilang masteral degree po regarding sa psychology. Okay. Okay, papasukin ko lang po muna ang ating mga speakers. Okay, good morning dear speakers.
Good morning, sir.
Hi, good morning.
Okay, good morning, Sir Sir Bray. Okay. Okay, so by the way, dear speakers, again, the topic is the cost of caring, managing compassion, fatigue. So kung muna ginagawa ang webinar ng Digital Technician po ay mostly paano po ang pedagogy ng pagtuturo sa mga kaguruan. So sa umagang ito po, ang topic natin ay medyo paiba po. Okay? So ano naman po ang ating masyadong mga kaalaman, ating wealth kung mayroon naman po tayong problem with regards to health po, lalong-lalo na po kung mental health ang ating pag-uusapan. Okay? So ito po i-detalyeng i-discuss ng ating mga guest speakers. Okay. Ma'am Cheryl Pugosa, go ahead po ma'am.
Hi, good morning.
Hi, good morning.
Good morning,
Good morning,
Okay.
I hope you are all well. My name
At Sir
is
Bird, siguro samahan
Gerundio
muna
Jr.
natin si Ma'am sa screen.
Okay,
Hello, good
bakit?
morning. Ma'am,
Yes, good
Yes,
morning,
good
sir.
morning, sir.
Sige ma'am, before tayo mag-start ma'am, kindly introduce yourself po sa ating mga participants po ma'am.
Okay.
Okay.
Good
Good
morning once
morning
again,
once again,
everyone.
everyone.
I am
I am
Gerundio
Michelle
Jr.
Feliz now,
Musical
musical
teacher,
teacher,
and
and
um, I
I
am
am
also
also
studying
studying
guidance and
guidance
counseling
and counseling
at
at
UBC.
UBC.
So my topic
So
for
my topic
today
for today
is
is
about
about
being resilient.
being resilient.
Okay. Thank you ma'am. And how about Ma'am Catherine Faith C. Bacos? Okay.
Complete kayo.
Complete kayo.
Okay, ma'am. Sige ma'am.
Yes,
Go ahead
good
ma'am.
Good
morning,
morning,
teachers. Good morning,
teachers. Good
sir,
morning, sir,
and our
and our
virtual
virtual
audience.
audience.
I am
I am
Catherine
Catherine
Bacos, and
Bacos,
like
and
Miss
like Miss
Sherilyn,
Sherilyn,
I
I
am
am
currently
currently
studying my
studying my
Master's
Master's
of Arts
of Arts
in Guidance
in
and
Guidance and
Counseling.
Counseling.
I hope you will
Okay, how
enjoy
I
about
hope you will enjoy
yes, go ahead, sir.
yes, ma'am.
sir.
Okay, how about po Sir Segundo? Eh, Sir Bree? Pasok na si Sir Bree. Eh, Ma'am Catherine, kumusta po ma'am?
Okay naman
Okay
po,
naman
sir.
po, sir. Medyo
Um,
um,
nasa,
nasa
what's this,
murag
bukid
bukid
amua,
amua,
so
so
you will
you will
hear
hear
roosters,
roosters,
Okay.
mga
mga
chickens.
chickens.
Hmm. Okay lang. Those are uncontrolled disturbance naman po ma'am. Okay. So, sino pong mauna natin ma'am? Ikaw ma'am or si Sir or si Ma'am ano? Uh, Ma'am Shirley.
I can
I
start
can
po,
start po,
sir.
sir.
Okay. Sige ma'am, I will stop sharing po.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay,
Um,
once again, our first speaker this morning is no other than Ma'am Catherine Faith C. Bacos. Okay, go ahead ma'am.
maayong buntag kaninyong tanan. Good morning. And for this morning, I will be talking about it's a brief talk lang mo about thinking traps, and these thinking traps is one of the aspects or factor nganong inani ta mo react sa usa ka situation, why we behave this way in a certain problem, and we will be talking about these type of thinking traps. And my main reference for this talk is from Dr. Karen. She is one of the authors from the massive open online course in Coursera. I don't know if you have heard about it. And she teaches on positive psychology and interpersonal relationships. She is a leader in the fields of depression prevention, optimism, resilience, and positive psychology interventions. I will be sharing to you. I pre-recorded this talk just in case there are troubles with the internet connection, and I hope you can hear it clearly. Can it be seen na po ba, sir?
Okay, share screen ma'am. Go ahead ma'am. Your audio is very
Share
clear.
this. Mm, how about that, sir?
Okay ma'am.
Okay. And so, just a brief introduction. It will be talking what thinking trap is, what and why we fall into these traps, the types of thinking traps, and how we can address these traps. So, in a helping profession and as educators, it would also be best not to know what asa tadapit or where we fall into this type of thinking trap so we can also develop empathy. And I hope you will enjoy. This is just a brief discussion about what thinking trap. Okay, so I'll just go back. It looks like the audio is
Yes, ma'am.
stop sharing.
During share screen, ma'am, kindly check the small box at the bottom.
Share audio, sir, now.
Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, welcome, ma'am. Okay. While doing po ng pag-sit up ng technical side, okay, so let's greet first our participants. Good morning, Ma'am Sheila Marie Chanes. Okay. Good morning po. And also Sir Ernesto Caberti. Good morning, sir. Welcome po sa DJ Philtech Nation. Okay, Sir Art. And Ma'am Liesel Villanes. Good morning po, ma'am. And also Ma'am Ginaline Villar.
I think I'll just share the entire screen lang po, sir, if that's okay.
Yes, ma'am. It's okay, ma'am. Sige, ma'am. It's okay, ma'am. Entire screen. Entire screen.
Okay. Sorry for the technical difficulties, and let me share it again.
It's okay, ma'am. It's okay, ma'am.
Along the way, I'll be sharing to you what thinking trap is and what and why we fall into these traps, probably an approach that can explain why we fall into these traps and types of thinking traps and ways on how we can address them. As you can see in these GIFs, the smile is what I relate to Filipinos because when you search in Google, you search in Filipino smile. When you search Filipino smile, a lot of articles would show up that Filipinos are resilient. So in times of uncertainty or when we have a problem, we have that skill on how to overcome it and be flexible in trying new things. If ever getting a solution dili matugma ani nga problema, probably if ever that problem happens again, I can try new ways on how I can solve it. So and doing that kind of mindset or having that skill makes us hopeful. Like this pandemic na, this too shall pass. We are hopeful nga mulabay ra ni ang pandemic. However, oftentimes the way we interpret our problem is something negative, and just like that human untangling the wires, our thoughts are normally wired to negative biases, and our thoughts are normally wired, and what makes it not normal siguro if we trap ourselves from these negative thoughts and feel like giving up and say to ourselves na I did not wala ko'y mahimo ani nga problema and you just give up because you can't do anything about the problem. As these thinking styles can get in our way of being resilient, from being hopeful, and overcoming our struggles. So our negative thoughts are overly rigid. It's as if there's no way out of that problem. And that's what we call thinking traps. Thinking traps are overly rigid patterns that can get in our way of resilience and well being. And these are unhelpful styles that can lead to anxiety, depression, low self esteem, addictions, and other mental health issues. What and why we fall into these traps. So, from the perspective of Dr. Albert Ellis in his ABC framework, it will help us understand our feelings, why that event is happening to us, and what affects our behavior. Ang gitawag siya nga ABC kay A stands for an adversity, an activating agent, negative event, or a circumstance, or probably the triggers. And B is atong mga beliefs, our thoughts, and the things we say to ourselves, the way we believe ourselves is, and C is the consequence or atong emotional reaction, atong feelings and behaviors. So from this example, a person didn't get selected for a choir, and because wala siya na select of choir, he believes that or she believes that she has a terrible voice. I'm never going to be any good at singing. And because she has that belief, consequences are she feels sad. She likes giving up on practicing singing. And what Dr. Albert Ellis taught us is that it is our thought of having a terrible voice, that you are not good at singing, that causes our depression and not the actual event or the adversity of not being selected for a choir. So it is what we say to ourselves, our beliefs, our thoughts about that situation that impacts how we feel, what we do, and even our physiology. And if we can change or rewire the way we think, we are going to change our behavior, which has the most powerful thing to alter our mood and the way we live and see the world. And we all know that we can't always control the things or events that happen to us. But what we can have more control of is our interpretations and our thoughts about the situation. And there are types of thinking traps. There are a lot, but I'll be mentioning 5 commonly experienced ones. First is mind reading. It is the belief that you already know exactly what is going on in someone else's mind. Because you know 100%, kabaw na kaunsa ang ilahang they talk about you, you tend not to ask or tell or clarify. Kaya ganing thinking style nga mag-assume ka or mag-expect ka what the other person is thinking about you. And oftentimes pag yun, mag-assume ta nga ang ilang yunaw na towards nato is something bad or negative about us. And because rarely na yun na siya nga mag-mind read ta, we assume that someone is thinking positive or great things about us. So humans as we are, we have that expectation or assuming thought that someone is thinking bad or ill about us. So when you are in the state of mind reading, as what I said, you know 100% what's going on that other person's mind. And so that can further lead to even more miscommunication. Kaya if you think nga gilibak ka sa imong mga friends, sa imong mga workmates, we tend not to reach out to the person and say, hey, what's going on? Ngayon distant na muna ako. What are you thinking of me? And it generally blocks communication because you tend not to ask or clarify why they are distant, why they are looking at you like that. Second is the me trap, and it is the belief that you are the sole cause of every struggle or problem. And because you are the sole cause of every setback and problem, you're probably also believing you are causing a lot of harms to others. Imong style of thinking is burden ka sa imong loved ones and those around you. And when we fall into the me trap, we tend to experience a lot of guilt. We feel a lot of guilt and a lot of sadness because we blame ourselves. We blame ourselves nga nung nagkainana ang atong friendship towards other people, our romantic relationships to that person. And it's because you blame yourself for what happened to the breakup, to the friendship over, to the barkada. And you keep on thinking to yourself, kung magbuwag man gani sa uyab, you think to yourself na, I think I am not lovable. Ako ang rason nga nung magbuwag me. I am the reason why I don't have stable relationships. And the more we fall into this trap, we think to ourselves that we are not good enough because you blamed yourself for the adversity of the other person. Third is the flip side, or the opposite to the me trap, is the them nga trap. You believe that other people or circumstance is the root cause of your difficulties. And sa me trap, ikaw ang ginungdan sa tanang problema. Pero sa them, sila or kanang nga event sa imong kinabuhi ang rason why you are miserable right now. And when somebody habitually falls into the trap of them, they blame other people. They blame the world, they blame the circumstance, the weather, blaming the government, blaming whatever for the problems that they are confronting. And have you experienced that when you blame someone or any event, you feel a lot of anger and aggression? And kung sa trabuhan, you blame your workmates nga ikaw man good, uniuna ka sa mga trabaho mo, nalit na noong taog-pas. Kung sa klase man gani, absent man good ka, wala na noon ta naka-report na may lusa na atong score. So you blame that other person. And not knowing they might have also other circumstance that happened to them. And because we blame them, we feel a lot of anger. The fourth trap is catastrophizing, wherein you reflect on all of those irrational worst case outcomes. So you imagine a worst case scenario, no matter how unlikely they are to happen in reality. So when you fall into this trap, you interpret your problems are bigger than they actually are. And let's say You just got one bad grade. Though it's just a one bad grade, catastrophic thinkers would say to themselves, "Did you go common ani? Di ko ka mo nag-eskwela, I'll end up homeless. Kay, di ko ka mo nag-eskwela, di ko ka pangita og trabaho, magbasurero na lang ko, I'll end up homeless." So those kind of thinking styles. And before, when the pandemic strike, COVID strike, kana ganing, I don't know if daghan makarel ka ng pandemic nga, ughon lang gani, paghunahuna na nga na, basing yung COVID na siya, basing yung COVID na ko. And common outcome of catastrophizing is anxiety, and it gives you headache of always thinking about it. Mag-think ka nga, "Hala, basing gi-COVID na ko, mas kay giubura gani." And there are a lot of symptoms of COVID. And wala pa gani ka nagpa-test or nagpa-swab test, you think yourself gi-COVID na ka. So, those worst case outcome nga mga scenarios, catastrophic thinkers thought to themselves. So, magka-headache ka, you always think about the problem, shortness of breath, panington ka, and these are symptoms of anxiety. Lastly is helplessness, and this thinking trap is when you believe that the negative event, whatever it is, it will impact in all areas of your life and that you have no control of. So it's the belief that bad things are here to stay. So you interpret problems as bad and there's nothing you can do about it. And when you are thinking about bad things are here to stay, you have no control, and it starts to generate a feeling of hopelessness. And when you are hopeless, you feel helpless. And if the struggles in life are helpless for you to solve and overcome, you feel like just giving up. And you don't have the energy to engage yourself in solving your problems. Most common outcome is being passive. Maghuwat na lang ka kung say mahitabo instead of taking a step forward. And before we proceed to a few strategies on how we can address these traps, I'd just like to ask, as a tanga trap, which trap do we likely fall into? Are we in the mind reading? The me nga trap, do we blame ourselves? Sa them nga trap, do we blame others, the government? Catastrophizing, do we see our problems having the worst case outcome out of it? Or do we feel helpless? Do we fall into the helplessness nga trap? Or probably a combination of two or more. And I ask you this is it's also best to acknowledge our overly rigid and helpful thinking styles. In some way we can also it can also help us understand others. Let's say you lean towards an me trap and mas makadevelop daw og empathy to the other person who possess self-guilt and keeps on blaming herself for all the problems of her loved ones. And in this helping profession, empathy will lead us to understanding nga, basin kini nga person believes or thinks to herself na siya ang sole cause ana nga problem. Mao di ang grabe iyahang guilt. So acknowledging or being aware of our own thinking traps is it will help us develop empathy. And I mentioned earlier nga, our thoughts are wired to these thinking traps, but I believe we also have a choice. We have a choice and the potential to rewire them if we also are willing to. And how can we address these traps? First is whenever uh, you fall into a trap, we can restructure our negative thoughts and prevent it from trapping us or prevent us from deeply falling into that trap is we can breathe first. Try to breathe. And when you breathe, you focus on the breathing to divert the unhelpful thinking style into your breathing. And just breathe, close your eyes, let your shoulders drop down and away from your ears. Breathe in and out slowly, and just keep focusing on your breathing. And this strategy is also helpful when we have catastrophic, uh, when we fall into catastrophizing ng when we feel anxious, we can't breathe properly, we have maglabad na tong O. So if we ground ourselves and breathe in and out slowly, we don't catch our breath, then probably we can be mindful, be at ease. And second, when worry, ridden thoughts take over, you can say stop. And just like breathing, it can also divert the word stop. It can divert your thinking trap into the word na stop. And if you are alone, you can say it loudly, just like Rachel is doing. And or if you are in public, you can repeatedly say it to yourself na stop, 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 stop until you are grounded with rational thoughts. Rational thoughts that would help you create or make productive decisions. And that decision, you know already the pros and cons. So grounded with rational thoughts na ka. And the last three, I mean, it's not the last, but the next three are what we call sentence starters. They are sentence starters because there's a sentence start and you fill in the rest of the sentence with something positive, realistic events, or situations. First is the evidence na sentence starter. You use evidence to try using vivid data to prove to yourself why what you're thinking is false. And uh, when you fall into this trap, when you fall into a trap, you say to yourself, "That's not true because," and then you seek an evidence nga no dili man na tinuod. For example, uh, every time I report yun, or yun na ako malikayan nga, when I present in a large group, I feel panington akong kamot, and I feel anxious kay basin ma-stutter ko, mag-mental block ko, and if mag-mental block ko, I cannot relay the message og tarong, and basin dili mo makasabot sa akong gipagstorya, and samot na karon nga pandemic nga online, so mahadlok ko basin ma-unstable ang internet connection. So those kind of thoughts. But I used an evidence sentence starter to restructure my irrational thoughts and say, that's not true because I have been doing reportings in class, and I even have presented in an auditorium to different people, and I have been doing this for over more than 4 years, or for the past 4 years of my course. So I have been doing this, and these irrational thoughts of mine are not true because I am prepared. I prepared for this talk, so I will not stutter. So use an evidence sentence starter. That's not true because then you find an evidence why it is not true. Next is reframing. Most commonly used strategy in positive psychology. Reframing is reframe positively the way you are perceiving the situation. And it's an example of optimism. You use optimism strategically, and you use a sentence starter with a more helpful way to see this, or a better way to see this is. So you use that sentence starter and you fill in the sentence, or you finish the sentence with something positive. You perceive that situation positively. So a better way to say this is. Next is contingency plan. You make a contingency plan by using the sentence starter If X happens, I will Y. If may tabo man gani no ni nga problema, I will do this. I will solve this problem with this kind of thought. And just like after this talk, if naaman gani mo pangutana, or after I present, you have questions that I don't know the answer to, I'll honestly tell that person who asked to wala ko nga, I'll research first and get back to you, or I will seek assistance to my colleagues who knows the question, who is competent to answer that question. So if X happens, I will Y. So if na I'm gonna pangutanang I don't know the answer to, then I will Y by researching it first or seeking assistance to my colleagues. Lastly, self-regulating by talking to yourself as you would a friend. So if a friend comes to you sharing them their problems, what do we usually say? Normally I say to them something positive like, I believe I have that philosophy nga everything happens for a reason. So I tell them that there can be a reason behind that problem. You'll find a way to solve that problem. God is with you. I am here praying for you. And this too shall pass. And we are all in the same boat. So we can find a way to solve that problem. So I tell that to my friend whenever they come to me sharing their problems. So if we can say that those sentences I just shared to a friend, then we can also probably say that to ourselves, right? Because self-talk, be kind to ourselves, try rooting to ourselves in the same way we would do a friend. And try using a mantra like, I believe in you, um, God is with you, you'll have a way to solve that problem, this too shall pass. And just when self-doubt kicks in, say to yourself as you would a friend, I believe in you. And I'd like to end this session with a quote by Dr. Albert Ellis. He said, people and things do not upset us. Rather, we upset ourselves by believing that they can upset us. Again, we can't always control the things or events that happen to us. We can't always. What we can what we can have more control of is the way we think, how we perceive and interpret that situation. So people and things do not upset us. What upsets us is by believing that they can upset us. Daghang salamat and maayong gabi. Thank you for your listening, and I hope you have learned something from this talk.
Yes, thank you so much, ma'am.
Yes, I hope you have learned something about what thinking traps are, the types of thinking traps, and why we fall into these traps. And always remember that we can't always control the things that happen to us. And this school of thought that I presented about Dr. Albert Ellis is just a one factor lang siya. It's a one factor that or an aspect of our life that can affect the way we behave, the way we react to a situation. There are often times that it's not the way we think that affects our behavior. There are certain times like mga uh, post-traumatic events that happen to us that would uh, lead us to think and act um, in a certain situation. And I hope you have learned something. Thank you so much, sir, and maayong buntag.
Yes, ma'am. And if there are questions, ma'am, we'll reserve that in our open forum period, ma'am.
Noted, sir.
Okay. Okay, for those participants na ngayon lang pumasok po ay again ang topic po natin ay cost of caring, managing compassion, fatigue. So if you have questions po, let us reserve for those questions para po sa ating question and answer portion po mamaya. Okay? Okay, ang sunod po natin ay So ang sunod po natin ay isa pong recorded video lang po since may emergency po nangyari sa isa po sa ating speaker, may inasahang changes ng routine ng ating speaker po. So nag-send po siya ng video. So play po lang ko lang po muna. Routine ng ating speaker po. So nag-send po siya ng video. So play po lang ko lang po muna. Routine ng ating speaker po. So nag-send po siya ng video. Okay, so this is the video. The title is Building Resilience during times. So please bear with me. As I play this video. The title is Building Resilience during times.
Especially nowadays.
So please bear with me. I play this video.
Here and sometimes over a lot of strength to face a problem.
So please bear
Learning
with me.
the skills from resilience is important. A lot of strength to
So please bear
learning the skills is the outline is important. We will know what resilience is, what does it mean to be resilient, what resilience is, how do we know we are resilient. In learning the skills, become what resilience is, what does it mean to be resilient, what resilience is, how do we know we are Dr. Norman Garcia, in learning the skills, something knows that being the founding father of resilience is how do we know Dr. Norman Garcia in learning the skills something knows that being the founding father of resilience is how do we know Dr. Norman Garcia in learning the skills something knows that being the founding father of resilience how do we know Dr. Norman Garcia in learning the skills something knows that how do we know Dr. Norman Garcia in learning the skills Okay, good morning, everyone.
Kumusta kayong lahat?
I hope you're all well.
My
My
topic for
topic
today is about building resilience.
everyone.
Kumusta kayong lahat? I
hope you're all well.
topic for today is about building resilience. Kumusta kayong lahat?
I hope you're all well.
Is about building resilience. Kumusta kayong lahat?
I hope you're all well.
Is about building resilience. Kumusta kayong lahat?
I hope you're all well.
Is about building resilience. Kumusta kayong lahat?
We'll be discussing skills that can help
Is about building resilience. Kumusta
us
kayong
to
lahat?
become resilient, especially nowadays that we are in a pandemic, and it can't be avoided that we feel fear and sometimes we lost our strength to face our problems. So learning the skills to become resilient is important. We lost our strength to face our problems. So learning the skills to become resilient is the outline of my lesson. So we will know what resilience is. So what does it mean to be resilient? Why is resilience important? How do we know if we are resilient? In learning the skill, know what resilience feels like. So before we proceed, let's talk about what is history of resilience. How do Dr. Norman Garnier in learning the skill know what resilience? Any something like before we being the founder or the founders research, how do Dr. Norman his research began with a focus on any something and shifted the research stressing the problems, competence, and resilience. How do Dr. Norman his research began with a focus on is resilience and shifted the research stressing the problems, competence, and resilience. How do Dr. Norman his research began with a focus on is resilience and shifted the research stressing the problems, competence, and resilience. How do Dr. Norman his research began with a focus on is resilience and shifted the research stressing the problems, competence, and resilience. How do Dr. Norman his research began with a focus on is resilience and shifted the research stressing the problems, competence, and resilience. How do Dr. Norman his research began with a focus and shifted the research stressing the problems, competence, and resilience. How do Dr. Norman his research began with a focus and shifted the research stressing the problems, competence, and resilience. Okay, good morning everyone. My talk is about building resilience. I will be discussing the skills that can help us to become resilient, especially nowadays that we are in a pandemic, and it can't be avoided that we feel fear, sometimes we lost our strength to face our problems. So learning the skills to become resilient is important in moving forward. So, so this is the outline of my topic. So we will know what resilience is, what does it mean to be resilient, why resilience is important, how do we know if we are resilient, and learning the skills to become resilient. Right, so before we proceed, let us talk about a brief history of resilience. So Dr. Norman Garnier is a clinical psychologist and, and is often noted as being the founder or the father of research in resilience. So his research began with a focus on mental illness and shifted the research in stress resistance, competence, and then resilience. Okay, so is resilience? Okay, so this is very familiar. Okay, lahat naman siguro may idea kung ano ang resilience, right? Okay, so these are the ideas surrounding how people are affected by and adapt to things like adversity, change, loss, and risk. So how are we affected by and adapt to experiences that happen to us? Okay, so all of us experience all kinds of adversity in life. So there are personal experiences such as illness, loss, the loss of loved one, abuse, bullying, job loss, and financial instability. There is also a shared reality tragic events in the news, so such as terrorist attacks, mass shooting, and natural disasters. So these are examples of adversities that we encounter in life. So we have to learn to cope up with and work through very challenging life experiences. Okay, so resilience is not a fixed trait. We need to learn flexibility, adaptability, and perseverance. So these traits help us to tap into resilience by changing certain thoughts and behaviors. Okay, let's proceed. So what does it mean to be resilient? Okay, so resilience is the ability to withstand adversity and to bounce back from difficult life events. So being resilient doesn't mean that people don't experience stress and emotional flow. Some people get resilience with mental toughness, but demonstrating resilience includes working through emotional pain and suffering. Okay, so the ability to withstand and bounce back. Right. So what is resilience important? It is important because it gives people the strength needed to process and overcome hardships. Those lacking in get easily overwhelmed and may turn to unhealthy coping mechanism. So very common, the alcohol or drug addiction. Okay, so when people tap into their strength and support system to overcome challenges and work through problems. So developing resilience is both and personal. It involves combination of inner strength and outer resources. Okay. And there is no universal formula becoming more resilient. Okay, so all people are different. So while other person might develop symptoms of depression and anxiety following a traumatic event such as avoidance, isolation, and self-medication. Another person might not report any symptoms at all, so it depends. Resilient people they experience stress, setbacks, and difficult emotions, but they tap into strength and seek help from support systems, overcome challenges, and work through their problems. Strength empowers them to accept and adapt to a situation and move forward. Okay, so why do we, why, how do we know if we are resilient? Okay, so by learning and adopting simple habits, no? So are scientifically proven to have resilience. Being more resilient means you're better able to navigate life challenges from a place of strength and conviction. And the more you aim to make a small positive changes, the easier it is to achieve happiness, satisfying relationships, and success. Okay, so from I can't do it to I can do it. Okay, so this are now we'll be talking about the skills that make us resilient. Alright, so I will be presenting a situation and let us check the skills that are needed to overcome, no? To overcome this problem, this situation. Alright, first situation, when a stressful situation arises and we think clearly under pressure, so the first skill that we need to develop is composure. Okay, composure or being calm. Okay, so for example, as a says, with positive COVID-19, or you stuck in an elevator, or you experience a flat tire while driving, or you lost your wallet. So life offers countless scenarios that throw out equilibriums of balance. Particularly the disturbing one can shift thinking patterns from rational ones to reactive ones. Okay, so to begin, we need to stop, recognize the distraction, and take a minute to think about how you want to respond. Okay? So look for solutions that represent your values and protect your interests. So, are you able to think clearly under pressure? Kailangan nating ikalma. Kung may mga pangyayari na beyond our control, kailangan natin first ikalma. And then, i-recognize natin na nangyari talaga yan sa atin. And then, para tayo makapag-isip ng tama kung anong next move na gawin natin. Okay, so the next situation is doing patience even when we have a lot to say. Okay, so next is patience. Next skill that we need to develop is patience. So learning, listening is an art that tests our patience, especially when the other person shares something we don't hear or when we'd rather be the one doing the talking. So patience is a marker of resilience. Others, our full attention when they're speaking, delaying judgment, letting others complete their thoughts uninterrupted makes us better listeners. And they're more resilient. Okay, so we need to keep our judgment to ourselves or delay judgment. Right. So next situation, do we feel hopeful even when things are not going our way? The next skill that we need to develop is optimism. So hope is the expectation of a better tomorrow. The hopeful are happier, healthier, and live longer. So while it's certainly easier for most of us to feel optimistic on days that are good to us, just as important to stay positive on the darker days too. Here at seeing the bright spot in tough times, we need to remember happy moments. Okay? The people who support you, your family, your friends, right? Your strength, your purpose, and what you believe in, and the things that you believe in. Okay? So you need to again remember the happy moments, okay, and support you. No? Right. Another situation, do we remember people during difficult times? The next skill that we need to develop is gratitude. So gratitude is like pizza toppings. You don't need it, but its presence is the experience of all more love enjoyable. An attitude of gratitude strengthens our relationship and overall well-being. So to get better at being grateful, you need to practice it in both big and small moments. So you will get resilience in the process. So be thankful for something simple like a deep breath, a glass of clean water, a creative insight, a smile, a hug, or something running out on time. So what are you grateful for? Okay, so there are a lot of things that we should be grateful for, especially this time of a pandemic. Okay, so we are still here, family is still intact, we still have jobs, right? So there are a lot of happiness, situation, things that we should be grateful for. Okay, the next question is, are we good at handling our uncertainty? Okay, so we need to develop the skill of acceptance. So most of us love control, but so much of life is out of control. Okay, so you have a choice: either get rattled by the uncertainty or embrace the reality of uncertainty. Okay, facing the uncertainty means engaging deeply with the unknown. No? So do it by being open and accepting of what comes your way. Diba? So you are saying yes to life, to the good, but also the bad. Okay? So the next situation is, do we remain kind to others even on days we don't feel it? So we need to develop kindness. Okay, we choose to be kind, and it takes considerable willpower to do so. So physical illness, fear, losses, insecurities, and most depleting experiences decrease our capacity to act kindly towards others and to ourselves. So kindness boasts resilience. According to them, kindness can make us beautiful. So think temper when your back is aching or you are stressed at work. So not treating one another with kindness can hamper coping, healing, and problem solving. So commit to being kind to others and to yourself. even when it takes more effort. Okay, so next situation, do we have a good reason to get out of bed each morning? Right. So another skill that we need to develop is sense of purpose. So recognizing our purpose help us focus our energy, keep us engaged, makes it easier to be hopeful, and fills us with courage, and you get it? It bolsters resilience. So purpose can come in the pursuit of other people or to avoid the set of values. To identify your life purpose and meaning, think about it. Write it down. It might be one big thing, it might be a whole lot of little things. You will know you've landed in it if it smile and feel inspired. Okay, let's proceed. The next situation, are we quick to let go of a grudge? Because we need to develop forgiveness. No matter how wonderful your friends, your loved ones, and your colleagues are, you will have misunderstandings and they will disappoint you. Okay, so you have a choice to restore the resulting hurt or find healing. Forgiveness decreases the load of your hurts, which frees up your brain to focus on the things that make your life meaningful and bring joy bring you joy. Okay, to be resilient, okay, take back the power from the person who hurt you, by letting go of the grudge and spending your energy where on what you do. Okay? So, it's easier said than done, pero kailangan na natin ng more effort. Mag-persevere, mag-effort. Okay, so next situation. Are we satisfied with the number of people who are close to us? Okay, another skill that we need to develop is connection. So loneliness doesn't mean we don't have people around us. We don't have people to do things with. We can feel lonely in a party of 100 people or feel deeply connected in a company of one or two good friends. So loneliness is a lack of true connection to others. And it is harmful to our minds and our bodies. Okay, so build resilience by cultivating strong relationship with at least few people. They want to nurture hope and courage, and they can boast physical health and longevity too. So build a support system, your family, your close friends, because they are the one who helps you when you are down. So those are the skills, okay? Those are the skills that can help us build resilience. Okay. 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 So before I end my talk, I would like to share this beautiful quote from Mary Holloway. She said that resilience is knowing that you are the only one that has the power and the responsibility to pick yourself up. Okay, so that's all. Thank you and God bless.
Once again, good morning po. Okay. Yan, napakagandang topic po ni ma'am.
Okay, sana meron kayong topic.
Yes, ma'am. So, dalawa po yung ano, ma'am, para sa aking masasabi ko pong may bigat pong i-achieve minsan. Pagiging composure at optimism po, lalong-lalo na kung may mga malalaking trahedya nangyayari. Let's say, for example, sa nangyari ngayon, we're in the middle of second school year ng pandemic po. And yun, taasan na naman yung mga COVID cases natin dito sa Cebu City.
Oo.
Minsan, yes, ma'am. And ito pa, may problema pang hoarding ng metal cylinder ng oxygen tank natin. So, dumagdag pa sa mga problema yung mga ganong klaseng ugali po.
Totoo. Mahirap talaga ngayon sa panahon ng So, kailangan lang natin talaga mag-effort, saka mag-persevere. Kasi, di ba, marami naman tayong ipapasalamat kasi nandito pa tayo, and then meron pa tayong mga mission na dapat gawin sa iba, sa ating pamilya at sa iba. So, mahirap talaga. So, kailangan lang natin mag-persevere, mag-effort.
Yes po, lalo na kung let's put ourselves sa shoes ng mga nasa family ng may COVID patients ngayon. Let's say for example, isa ka sa nakabantay sa isang pasyente sa loob ng hospital, tapos ito may mga bills, may mga dapat pang bilhin mga gamot. So paano po ma-maintain yung composure at pagiging optimism? And also kindness. Minsan medyo mainit ang ulo po yung pasyente kung may naramdam na sakit po.
Okay. So kanina nag-mention tayo ng connection. So kailangan natin mag-build ng connection para sila yung magtulong sa atin. Sila yung magtulong sa atin para tulungan tayo makalma, para nandyan sila para i-encourage tayo na let's move forward. Ganun, sir. So, kailangan talaga din meron tayong support system. Our close friends, our families, people who are close to our heart, diba? So, hindi naman tayo pababayaan ng mga support system natin pag dumating yung mga katulad ng mga mini-mention mo, sir.
Yes, ma'am. And speaking of support system po, ma'am, kami po dito sa Regifil Nation ay may mga trabaho rin po. Nasa public school po kami nagtuturo. And ito pong ginawa namin ay isa pong advocacy. So ito po may tuturing na po ding support system para sa mga kapwa natin educators na kung saan minsan nangangailangan din po ng mga ganitong topic. Kasi anin naman po natin yung mga talino natin, yung mga inaakin nating mga wealth. Kung minsan naman po sa ganitong situation, matutunan natin ng mga shattered moments ito eh. So during these times po, say for instance, instead of naka face-to-face, ito naka second year ng distance learning pa rin. Medyo iba, laki kasi ng diferensya ng face-to-face at ng distance learning.
Totoo, malaki talaga ang diferensya kasi nagtuturo din ako sa mga bata. Tsaka, malaki din talaga yung sacrifice ng parents and also tayong mga guro. So, totoo yan. So, ayun. Para mabuhayan tayo, para maging hopeful tayo, diba, na-mention ko kanina, kailangan natin balikan yung mga goals natin, no? So, di ba, kailangan natin siyang isulat kung ano talaga purpose natin, kung ano mga goals natin. So, whenever may mga dumating na like ganito,
So parang balikan natin yun, basahin natin, tsaka ma-inspire tayo ulit. No? Totoo, mahirap siya, pero yun, kailangan natin i-push ang ating mga sarili. No? Especially as na nandito tayo, so dapat mas maganda na makatulong tayo sa iba, katulad ng grupo ni Sir, para ma-inspire yung iba, para naman mabuhayan ulit.
Yes po, ma'am. Oo. Sana po makapasok na din po si ma'am, si Sir Bray, ma'am. Nandito naman siya pero siguro baka may problema din sa internet connection.
Mahirap talaga mag-present sa hindi tayo maka-anticipate. So, sana may natutunan sila.
Ayos po, ma'am. Ganda naman po ng mga topics nyo. And tapos yung mga subtopics na dinidiscuss, very akma po sa nangyari ngayon. Paano natin i-uplift yung mga sarili natin, huwag po tayo magpadala sa mga problema na humihila sa atin pa ibaba. So, kailangan po nating, kumbaga sa advertisement pa ng kape, para kanino ka ba bumabangon?
Yes.
Ano po?
So, magkaroon ng symptoms. Tsaka, kung makikita sa iba yung mga ginagawa natin, so ma-inspire naman sila.
Oh, yes, ma'am. Kasi di naman natin sila maabot one by one. So, with the help of some platforms, social media, at least po, kasi ang broadcast po natin ngayon ay may YouTube tayo at may Facebook Live tayo. So, dalawa po. At least po, may marketing tayo sa mga subscribers and also sa mga madaanan po ng ating broadcast po sa Facebook Live.
Oo. So, kailangan lang natin mag-focus. Saka, i-apply natin yung mga skills. No? Ito kasi, meron na kasi tayo mga skills na nandito na sa atin. So, kailangan lang natin i-aware na sarili natin. At saka yung iba, i-aware na meron tayo yan. So, kaya natin.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, sir, ibig kong sabihin na lahat naman tayo mayroong mga skills. Meron naman tayo lahat na na-mention. Siguro kailangan lang natin i-aware mga sarili natin para magamit. Para ganito kung sa dating panahon, so nandiyan pa rin tayo, naka-stand pa rin tayo. So kung may mga nangyari na hindi maganda, so makabalik pa rin.
Yes po, ma'am. And Ma'am Catherine, if may may dagdag ka, Ma'am Catherine, you can inside po, ma'am. Can open your camera and your audio, ma'am. Yan.
Sir, I don't know if it's my connection. It's a bit choppy on my end.
Yes, ma'am. Ang pangit talaga ng internet connection ngayon, ma'am. Yung dalawa kong co-admins, di po nakapasok dahil sa internet connection daw. Ang hirap daw.
And I'd just like to add lang from what Miss Sherilyn shared about how we can be resilient in this time of uncertainty. And this pandemic, there are a lot of clients or there are a lot of students who feel very anxious, who experiences panic attacks. And one way of also helping them is teach them how to self-regulate, the breathing techniques we've shared, and breathing mean taking it slowly, not catching it, para to lessen, to prevent lang hyperventilation. And The talk we also shared is how we can show empathy to our students, that we are all in the same boat. Itatanaan na all of us are experiencing this pandemic, not just the teachers, but also the students. And one way is also giving consideration when in times the student is, especially now nga kanang there are a lot of students living in provinces that have no internet connection, and being considerate also of these students not having good internet connection is also one way of helping them to lessen their anxiety, their panic attacks.
Yes, ma'am. So that is why, ma'am, different schools also having their different learning modalities. So there are
Yes.
schools using modular, online,
Mm.
radio-based, and also the deep ed launch their deep ed TV, where they can watch via the their official channels in YouTube, and also some cable channels also. So at least
Yes.
which learning modality favorable sa kanila po. Pero dito sa Cebu, ang greatly na ginagamit ay ang modular po, na kung saan kukuha yung mga parents sa kanilang mga modules, tapos following week ibigay naman yung kanilang mga answer sheets, and then kuha na naman ng panibagong modules.
Yes, I can attest to that, sir, because I have a lot of cousins who are also studying in public schools nga, or also private schools nga nag-modular. And it's a good way that the government is also flexible now in giving education to our students. And as what you said kanina, sir, if I heard it correctly, this kind of webinars, this kind of talk about interpersonal or intrapersonal relationships sa atong selves and others is also one way of touch base, pangamusta, and giving them insights on how they can cope up this time of pandemic. And also, that's what I said. It's one way also of how we can cultivate relationships and um, show empathy to our students.
Yes, ma'am. Very well said, ma'am. Kasi nangyari ngayon is we're facing with these two major factors, the economic side and the global health problem. Yung dalawa po yun ang nagpe-press sa atin ngayon. So yun, depende kung gaano tayo ka-resilient, saan tayo lulugar, paano tayo makagawa ng mga new ways and solutions po para rito.
Yes, that's I agree to that, sir.
And again, I'm still waiting for Sir Segundo, ma'am, if makapasok ba siya. If you have any additional platforms na pwede natin makontak si Sir. Kasi nandito naman baka may problema lang sa sa internet connection.
We'll try to contact him, sir.
Oh.
Okay, message lang.
Okay, dear participants, if you have some questions po, you can maximize our chat box so that our speakers will address it later po. So, Ma'am Ginaline Villar, good morning po. Yes, ma'am, mas maganda po sa YouTube po compared sa Facebook natin. Mas maganda po yung reception sa YouTube natin. Okay, dear participants, again, the topic is all about the cost of caring, managing compassion, fatigue. Okay. So, dinidiscuss po ng ating mga minahal na mga speakers po ang yung about the thinking traps. Okay. So, and how to avoid this thinking traps po. Okay. And isa po doon sa nabanggit sa ating speaker ay yung talk to yourself as you would a friend. So, in my side po, malimit ko lang ginagawa itong kinakausap natin ang ating mga sarili due to some hectic schedules natin sa ating mga trabaho. Okay? So, minsan mas inisip pa natin yung iba compared sa mga sarili natin. Okay? Then, mag-feel na lang natin na nadi-drain na pala tayo. Okay? So, I hope sa mga nabanggit nila, especially talking about composure, patience, optimism, gratitude, kindness, and also connection. So, I hope yung mga words na yun ay makakatulong po sa nangyari sa ating, hindi lang sa ating country po, hindi lang po dito sa Cebu City. This global pandemic po. Okay. So lalong-lalo na sa mga parents, pakita po natin na strong po tayo. Makikita sa mga family members natin. Huwag po tayo masyadong magpadala sa mga problema. Okay? So I know there are problems talaga na minsan parang susuko na tayo. Okay? But again, we always have to thank those persons na nakadepende sa atin. Sila po ang gawin nating lakas, sila po ang gawin nating fountain sa ano pang dapat nating gawin. Let's say for example, nawalan ka ng trabaho, find another way na yung nawala sa iyo ay may palit. So let's say for example, pasok ka sa pasok ka sa pagiging delivery, let's say may motorcycle ka. Okay, so mag-apply ka bilang Grab for example, and any other delivery services po. Okay? So it's part po ng pagiging resilient po. Huwag po tayo magstay na lang sa bahay na wala namang gagawin. Again, there are persons na nagdepende po sa atin. Okay, so there are other ways po. Okay, so Sir V, I hope you can get in now.
Online siya.
Okay, so again, for those participants na ngayon lang nakapasok, so you can share po, subscribe, or send some chat po. Then for the subscription po, the purpose po is if mayroon po kaming mga future webinars, you'll get notified po. Okay. So, dalawa parang webinar ang ginagawa ni Sir. Okay. So, serving two masters para si Sir. Galing ni Sir.
Multitasking.
Oo. So, ganyan kadiman yung ano ni Sir, expertise ni Sir. Okay? So, parang hirap na makapasok si Sir. Okay? Ay, kasama pala ni Sir si Ma'am Cheryl ay DP training din. Okay.
Si Angela.
Okay, dear participants, if meron po kayong concerns, mga katanungan, okay, we can address that para sa ating mga speakers. So we're now in question and answer po. So meron kayong mga queries, siguro there are portions na bumigay yung mga internet ninyo, di po nyo nakuha. Okay, so pwede nyo pong gamitin ang ating mga chat box po, YouTube or Facebook para may address natin sa ating mga speakers po. Ma-clarify po. Okay?
Probably while waiting na lang din po, while they are typing their questions or inquiries with those is, you mentioned a while ago that you do also self-talk. Probably you can also share how you self-talk so that also your co-teachers can also can get an inspiration from that self-talk, knowing that they also have hectic schedules, just like you have.
Okay, so the Different Technician po ay gumagawa ng mga ganitong webinars for several months na po. Okay, and also having different topics. Okay? So mostly sa topic na dinidiscuss ay technical. Okay? For the pedagogy, but this time around it's the first time po na nag-hold kami ng ganitong topic kasi yun po ang hiling ko kay Ma'am Cheryl kasi nakita ko po sa panahon ngayon parang nangangailangan talaga yung mga tao sa yung bang kumbaga stop for a while. Anong dapat kong gawin sa mga ganitong sitwasyon? Kasi ang nangyari ngayon sa pandemic, wala tayong template eh. So ibig kong sabihin, wala na unang mga pangyayari na pagbabasihan natin kung ano ba yung mga tamang mga pamamaraan, mga tamang ways po na dapat i-practice natin. Okay? So doon po papasok yung resiliency natin. Okay, so kung itong nangyari, ano bang dapat kong gawin na very positive yung output, wag po yung negative. Na kung sana ay ang self lang maka-benefit, sana wag naman po ganun. Okay? Ito po mga ginagawa namin ay again advocacy lang po ito. So it's just an extension lang po ng namin bilang mga public school teachers. Okay? So it's composed of dalawa po yung co-admins ko from Batangas and isa dito sa Cebu City. So ako po yung nagturo sa Patira National High School. Okay? So Bisaya gitu ya. Okay? But since our live streaming po ay equally represented po from Luzon, Visayas and Mindanao, that's why we're using Tagalog language po. Okay. Anyway, maintindihan naman po lahat ng mga viewers yun using that language. And this day po, 3 po yung magiging event ng Digital Technician. Isa po ito. And 1 to 4, mayroon naman about Microsoft. And hapon po, 5:30 to 7:30 ay about Photoshop naman po. So again, different topics po. So despite po sa busy schedule po, pumapasok din ang commitment po. So very committed kami sa advocacy. Kaso nga lang, di nakapasok yung dalawa kong co-admins due to internet connection. Okay, buti na lang, okay po yung signal ko po dito sa Cebu City. Okay.
Kapit lang, sir.
Oo, yes ma'am. So, yun po ang advice ko sa mga kapwa educators. Kung may pwede tayong kahit kaunti lang pong magawa, just like sa ginagawa ko. Okay, so pwede tayong makapag-share. Okay? Yung mga bagay na pwede pa tayong may bigay. Okay? So regardless sa amount ng pera, di naman lahat ng pangailangan ay pera. So minsan po ito, lalo na papasok na po yung school year natin. September 13 po, official start ng class sa public. So
Yes.
start also po ng preparation para sa school year. And next po natin ngayon ay meron po tayong coming from Thailand na nakaabang po in the person of Sir Robin de los Santos. So avid po supporter natin yan from Thailand. And we also coming from Romania po. May India din. So maraming suki na natin sa ating mga webinars. Okay? So again, ang Digital Technician ay very young lang po compared sa iba.
And your webinars also, sir, are very applicable now that we are all having this online setting, that we have to have that skill on how to do Microsoft, how to which icon to click, which icon to do this and that. And it's a good way also. Probably I can also share this to my mother, who's also having online classes, and she keeps on asking, where can I do this? Where can I click? Yeah, there are a lot. So probably there you have also a lot of tutorials that I can also share to her. And this is also a very helpful setting that you teach teachers in the different kinds of online platforms.
Yes, ma'am. Sa August and September, ma'am, nakafocus po ang Digital Technician sa Microsoft kasi nakapag-partner po kami sa Microsoft Education Ambassadors po. So isang grupo yan ng mga Microsoft Education Ambassadors na natuturo sa atin every Saturday po from 1 to 4. So very loaded yung mga Saturdays namin, August to September. So at least naman po pag open ng klase, medyo di naman lahat kasi alam naman natin 800,000 plus yung nasa public school lang. So at least naman po may kung sino yung very willing na makapag-attend ng mga webinars, equipped na po. Di naman fully equipped, at least naman alam naman nila. So no need to master naman. So importante lang ay alam mo kung anong dapat mong gawin. Okay, yun na po.
Yes, I agree to that, sir. It's like more of an inset. When teachers also have, during the breaks, they also have inset. They also have planning. And this, your page or your advocacy is also one way of having inset to them. As what you said, being equipped of the skills, basic skills, not fully equipped, but basic skills also, and handling this online platform.
So, isa po yan sa tinitingnan din po namin kasi kapag kung insit lang, kung nasa insit setting ka, pagkatapos ng insit, wala na po. Pero kung sa ganitong pamamaraan, pwede nyo gawing kumbaga self-paced. Stop, tapos balikan nyo pang aling part na di po nyo nakuha. Kasi kung sa insit, pag tapos na yung speaker, wala ka na makukuha eh. Okay, mangangapa ka pa sa mga kasama mo, paano ba niya nagawa to? Pero kung sa ganitong platform ang gagamitin, so pwede mong play stop, tapos balikan ano yung part na di mo nakuha. So yan ang kagandahan po sa ganitong setup. po ang tinitingnan namin.
Mm. So marami din kayo natutulungan.
Yes ma'am, meron naman kaunti po, subscribers umabot na po ng 1,100. Lagi po yung silang nakaabang. Hindi lang sila palaging nakaabang, pero saan ay take replay po, alam mo busy rin. So kung ano yung oras na favorable sa kanila, doon sila po nagme-message sa amin na ganito, ganyan. So, yun po ang isa sa mga ginagawa namin. Okay, questions? So I think wala naman siguro mga katanungan, no? Kasi very well said naman yung explanations. Siguro it's time siguro to present this way of appreciation namin para sa speakers namin sa araw na ito. So una po ay certificate of recognition. This certificate is proudly presented to Sir Segundo Abria Jr. in grateful acknowledgement of his distinguished and invaluable expertise rendered as guest speaker during the webinar on the cost of caring, managing compassion fatigue, streamed via YouTube Live this 7th day of August 2021, given at DigiFil Technician, Cebu City, Philippines. Signed by the administrators, Arturo E. Buenavides P, Gerundio Jr, Man B. Leynes. Same straw with Ma'am Catherine Faith C. Bacos. And also Ma'am Cherilyn Pogosa. Ma'am Anjanette Rosales. Okay, again, maraming salamat talaga po ma'am sa inyong dalawa sa pagbigay ng oras para sa DigiFil Technician. Okay, malaking bagay po sa amin yan.
Thank you for having us also.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much for this opportunity. And I hope amidst these uncertainties, we would build the skill of being resilient. Thank you so much for your time, our dear educators, the mother of all professions, as they said, as they say.
Okay.
Okay, thank you. Thank you for having us.
Thank you so much, sir.
Okay,
Thank you, sir.
welcome.
God bless. Take care, and you all stay safe.
Okay, ma'am. Goodbye po, ma'am.
Bye. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. God bless. Take care, and you all stay safe.
Okay, for dear participants, ito po ang QR code natin para sa ating evaluation and ito po ang link natin. Yan po ang mga speakers natin ngayon. Okay, yan po ang kanilang mga certificates. Okay, yan po ang QR code natin at ang link po natin. https://tinyurl.com/host-of-caring. Okay? Okay, so use your cell phone. Okay, to scan the QR code. Okay, the participants will invite also this 1 o'clock to 4 p.m. po. So topic po ay about Microsoft po Office 365 tools. Okay? And makakasama po namin ay ang Microsoft Education Ambassadors from DepEd Philippines po. Okay? So from August to September po ang duration ng partnership po namin sa MIA Avengers po at ng Digifil Technician. Okay? Okay, Sir Ruben, Ma'am Janalyn, Sir Art, Sir Norman, okay, Ma'am Giseline, Ma'am Vitriolo, Ma'am Liosel, Ma'am Vicky, Ma'am Sheila, Sir Ernesto. Okay, maraming salamat po. Okay. Okay, upcoming events po. Okay, yan po ang topic natin this 1 to 4. Okay, overview of Office 365 and then seamless learning with Outlook po, and also image manipulation using blend modes and filters using Photoshop. So yan po ang dalawang upcoming events natin today. So meaning we have 3 events today po. Medyo loaded po ang oras ng Digifil Technician. Okay. So I hope you can share these events po sa inyong mga friends, co-educators, okay, para sa mga events ng Digifil Technician. Okay, again, maraming salamat po sa lahat ng viewers, sa lahat ng sumusuporta sa mabuo ng Digifil Technician, Sir Art, Sir Norman. Walang problema po si Norman, Sir Art, sa ganyang mga problema. Uncontrolled situations po yan. Okay. Sige lang po, subukan niyang makapasok mamaya para sa 1 to 4 session po natin. Okay. Stay safe po always. Maraming salamat po. Okay, God bless as always. Sana po nakatulong po ang webinar nito sa inyo.